When communal spread starts, I would still support my favorite hawker, but I will not loiter. I'll do what I need to do, get in, get out, back to my home, and all will be okay. Should I handle money? I'll keep the money, but I will make sure I will wash my hands, be it alcohol or be it soap and water, before I touch my face. Ironically, those places would have been cleaned thoroughly and will be one of the cleanest spots in Singapore. I would trust BUA, the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, as well as the NEA to make a thorough clean of the area. When the packages go through transport, even from China, from Wuhan itself, through to Singapore, the transportation, the long process, and the exposure to the good old sun would have decimated the virus. No, I would not be particularly worried. Remember, the virus can only spread by droplet. Even if I'm living next to a quarantine area, it doesn't go to the air. You can't breathe it in. As I enter into the vehicle, I request that the windows be wound down. This way it allows air to move in and out of the vehicle, and this would quickly dilute the virus and make it negligible. Clean hand hygiene is very important. Remember, wash your hands with soap, water, or use alcohol before you touch your face. Your face is sacred. Now, if I'm sick, I'm not feeling well, in addition to washing hands and keeping hands clean, I would put on a surgical mask. That's out of respect to my fellow Singaporeans. I do not want to transmit the virus to anybody. We may inadvertently touch our eyes, touch our nose or mouth, even though we're wearing our masks. So keeping the hands clean will protect our face from getting infected with the organism. Hand sanitizers work very, very well. It's squirting lots of alcohol, you can get them into the crevices, you dry your hands, and the virus dies. The virus dies very well with drying. Now, however, I have a caution with wipes. Wipes is you're kind of spreading things over. It's like butter on toast, but this time round you're spreading the virus all over our toast or any germs. So I would refrain from using wipes. Number one, can I actually split the staff into two different groups such that they do not come and meet at the same time? So in the inadvertent risk that one group is affected by the disease, the other group is still able to maintain and keep the business going. Number two, think about trying to let your staff work remotely without having to come in. See whether you can do things with minimal contact between your clients and yourself. 2019 novel coronavirus is like any other cold virus or influenza which you are familiar with. So it spreads primarily by respiratory droplets. This means it flies out with our spit when we talk exuberantly, it comes out with a sneeze, but it's certainly not in the air. You can't. I think it's very difficult. You have the usual symptoms of fever, headache, muscle aches, you have your cough and sore throat. Very similar between the regular cold, influenza, or the 2019 novel coronavirus. Asymptomatic, they have no symptoms, they're less likely to nasal discharge, less likely to have cough, and hence less likely to transmit. And conventional wisdom would be that the amount of virus there is will be very, very little. So in truth, we suspect the actual risk to be very, very low. Overall, the mortality stands at 2%, but I think this is an artificially inflated number because we don't have the full denominator, the number of people who are sick. Include the mild cases, I think the figures will be much lower, much closer to the influenza which you and I are familiar with. Most of the time, it is still best supportive care. Best supportive care means providing adequate hydration, adequate food, oxygen when needed, making the patient feel comfortable, and that will work for more than 90% of the patient.